totally transformed. And when I got into Medina Bay, every step of the way just confirmed I was right. I was okay to leave what I knew, and my family would be fine, and they would benefit from this. And every step I was reiterating that comfort level with my choice and my decisions. And the moment that I entered the room and I saw Sheikh's face, the light, everything in me disappeared, and it was like I was dust and water. I was so humbled.
Right.
And I had just returned to this sort of primordial state of submission and acceptance and joy and acknowledgement. And he was a humble man. He's not the kind of charismatic figure that we may associate, if you will, with charisma. He was a very dark, beautiful man, but of short stature, round face, full, beautiful African features. But not in the context of we think of charisma being contained in a beautiful package. A more the beauty of a person's face is real, but beauty, I learned, was contained inside the inner essence of the human being that made his face the most beautiful face I had ever seen in my life, and the most beautiful form I had ever witnessed because of his character. And when he saw us coming, he had been to America prior, and I wasn't a part of that, his journey to America, but his the aftermath of his first trip to America. And he was beginning in the context of the inheritance from the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through his silsila to Tariqa Tijaniya, Sheikh Ahmed Tijani Ratiallahu anhu, and the one who brought this to Sheikh Ibrahim, and Sheikh Ibrahim bringing it through his father, Sheikh Ali Sisi Ratiallahu anhu. Then he became the inheritor of this task to complete this fighter. And so he was being prepared in his way, and my life was running synonymous to this, unbeknownst to any of us. And like I said, walking in this room and seeing him in his early stages of maturation along the spiritual path, it was the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight that I'd seen, including Medina. Medina, outside of being in a state of ecstasy and joy, if you will, because of, the glory of what you're doing, it is a typical underdeveloped rural scene where our sewer lines were exposed, our poverty was clear, but the time, it was almost like the time of the prophet or the time of the prophets. It almost was a demarcation between the modernity of the world and going back in time, when you had the sheep and the goat and walking alongside you, unpaved road, the grandma sitting in the backdrop, the intermingling of homes and societies. Every culture and every nation was represented during this Ramadan. I saw people from every corner of the world entering this city, and to sit at the feet in the company of this humble, beautiful human being. And in his acceptance of us, I got to see him with heads of state. I got to see him with kind people like ourselves. And everyone who entered his room left feeling as though they were the only one in that room. An elevation of your soul and your spirit, and watching him address children and elders, and literally seeing the attributes of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm in no way saying that Sheikh was a prophet, but he was a recipient of the light of Muhammad, and that he exemplified the excellence of character that Allah so gave into the Prophet. And this is when I was talking about the gift and how Allah promises us things, and that if we are